So agentic AI is one of those things that I've been hearing a lot of in both, the startup world that I'm working with, as well as the retail consumer goods world as well. And one of the things that I see that is huge, and the reason why brands and retailers should be paying a lot of attention to agentic, is a couple of reasons. One is that it is really about applications and workflows, and most importantly, automation. How do we automate things that we do today, the processes that we do today? And we talked about earlier about RPA and all of the workflows that you define. Agentic, what it does is it really takes a workflow or process, but instead of having very specific steps and rules, you just say, what's the end result? What's the kind of people or agents that you need? And you define the agents, and the AI will actually do all of the tasks needed. It will be adaptable, it'll be dynamic. And that's the huge difference. So from a retailer perspective, one of the reasons it's important is it automates a lot of the tasks and in a much better way. The other reason I think retailers and brands are looking at this and should look at this is mainly because the way you create agents today is using prompts. It's using natural language. And that's the most transformative thing that we see today, because you don't need the resources and skills of development. And that's one of those huge things. So I'm seeing brands and retailers really do a lot of things with agents in automating things that they do today manually. And that's why I think it's of huge importance to brands. So a couple of things. One is, I think, how you interact with customers. So assistants are a big part of that interaction. So assistants today, when it comes to agents, is not just one flow interaction. It is also where there's multiple agents behind the scenes, where just agents that are connecting to the CRM systems, agents that are connecting to backend systems, agents that are looking at your past purchases and behavior and all of that, bringing it all together and engaging with you. So that's one element that I see where, whether you're in store or online, through an application, you could be constantly engaged. That's one element that I think is very, very important. The second aspect where I see, that impact happening in store is the support and customer service, where you engage with the brand, you engage with the retailer, you would be working through an agent. The agent is connected to all the backend systems, and it is working in real time. And that's transformational as well. Yet another thing I see is processes that are happening within the store. For example, on-shelf availability. You want to have an intelligent shelf where there's cameras looking at the shelf, there's sensors in the shelves, all of those things. But when something happens, when there's a product not available, is there a workflow that kicks off? And that's, again, an interesting place where an agentic process could automatically kick off a workflow, send notifications for replenishment, send notifications for resupply as well. And so that process is automated. And those are some of the things that I see within a store that agentic processes could transform and actually make happen. There's a couple of examples. One of them, and I won't mention a brand, is, and the reason I won't is because this is very, very new technology. A lot of the projects that we're talking about when it comes to agentic are happening at the moment. They're very new, they're very fresh, and this is extremely new technology. So a fashion brand, for example, they're looking at engagement with the customer. How do we do recommendations to you? How do you do conversational shopping? So the agentic system is doing things like virtual try-ons. It is looking at your past purchases. It is looking at all the other data elements, like, for example, what's going on out there what's the weather, what's the time of year, and bringing all that data together so that the interaction with you as a shopper is taking into account all of these different things, and it is becoming more relevant, more hyper-personal, and as a result, far more effective. And that's one of the things that the brand is saying. They can have very powerful, very hyper-personal conversations with customers through agentic processes that are connecting to back-end systems and data as well.